Hello over there and welcome to this advanced Excel class. And in this particular lesson, we are going to have a look at data editing in Excel sheet. So in this particular lesson, we're going to explore how to edit cell data, and we're going to look at overriding cell data, how to edit functions and formulas, how to undo and redo cell data, and how to find and replace data in a Excel sheet, how to move to a specific location in Excel, and how to select cell ranges in Excel sheet, as well as how to select the entire column and how to select the entire row. So with that said, let's get started with our today's lesson. So what I'm going to do is to head over to Excel program, and to avoid wasting of time, I've already typed some data into this Excel sheet. As you can see, this is a data which is a sample of student mark sheet, and you can see we have three columns. So we have the first column, student name, and then the score, and then the grade in alphabetic order. So as we're going to explore the first concept, and we're going to see how to edit the cell data. So for you to be able to edit the cell data, let us say, for example, you want to edit the value in this cell number 2, which is A2, and you want to replace the value Samuel with another value, for example. To do that, you just double click on that cell, and when you double click, you will see a blinking cursor here, which is blinking. And what you're going to do is to press the backspace in order to erase the data that is existing previously. And when you erase the data that existed, then you're going to go ahead and type a new name, for example, John, or for example, Sam. And then after typing the data, you're going to go ahead and press enter. All right. So for you to be able to edit the cell in the data, what you're going to do is just double click on that cell and then erase by pressing the backspace button, and then you can go ahead and type the new data and then press enter. So with that, let's look at the next concept, which is overriding the cell data. So for you to override the cell data, instead of double clicking and then uh, erasing the data, you can as well override the data completely in the cell. So to override the data, you just place the cursor in on that cell. Let's say, for example, you want to override the value John with another value, uh, maybe you want to add another value Kuti in that cell. So what you do, you just put the cell on, you just put the cursor on that cell, and then you start typing without double clicking. You just type the new value Kuti, and then you press enter, and the new value is inserted in that cell. All right. So the difference between double clicking and inserting is that for you to double click, maybe you want to change the value. Let's say in this value sum, you want to maybe replace the value A with O, for example. It becomes useful to double click, and then you move to that particular value or letter and remove it, and then you type the new letter. All right. But for this case of overriding, it means you want to replace the whole of the cell data with a totally new set of data. So that's the difference. The next concept we look at is how to undo and how to redo the data. So for you to undo, it means basically you want to go back to the initial state that you were before editing. And now to demonstrate that, I want to add another column here and call it pass, and we'll have the value either yes or the value no. So you can see I've just typed this value no here, and if I don't want that value to exist there, then I can uh, double click on it and then erase it and then press enter to have an empty value. Or alternatively, I can click on this button to undo the changes. So when I click on this button here on the right top here, and then you can see that the value is removed. I click again on it, the previous value also is removed. When I click on it again, the previous value, column value here is removed. So that's how you can undo the value that you have already entered into the cell. And the opposite of it is to redo. To redo is you just press on this other button here which is redo type the typing. So when I click on redo, it will bring back the value. It brings back the values that I had typed. All right. So the shortcut form for undo is Ctrl Z. So when I press Ctrl Z, is the same as clicking on undo. And the shortcut key for redo is Ctrl Y. So when I press on Ctrl Y, it is the same as redo. All right. With that, let's look at the next concept, which is find and replace text. So for example, let's say we want to find a particular value in a cell and replace it with another value. So for you to do that, uh, if you have a small set of data, then you can go and look for that particular value manually and then remove it and replace it with another value. But if you have a long set of data where you don't want to scroll down and look for that value, then this way to find it is to go to the editing group. When you come to the editing group here, you can see on home tab, first of all, you have to click on home tab and then come on the editing group. And on the editing group, you can see this drop down here, which is called find and select. When you click on it, you're going to see this symbol here called find. And when you click on find, then you're going to type the data that you are looking for in this Excel sheet. So let us say, for example, I want to find this value called Susan, which is at the last here, and I don't want to scroll down and look for it. So what I can do is just go to this editing group here and then click on the drop down and click on this find, and then now I can type the value 1000, and then when I click find next, you can see the cursor is selected. So let's say the cursor is somewhere here, and then click on find, and then you look for value 1000, and we click on find next. You will see that it appears. Z indicates that it is right over here. And once you find that value, then you can go to it and edit the way you want, or you can replace it if you want to replace with another different value. Let's say I want to replace, and then you click on this replace, and then you type the new value that you want to replace it with. Let's say, for example, Maureen. We need to replace the value Susan with Maureen. So I click on it, and then when I type the new value, then I click on replace. So when you click on replace, it only replaces the value in this cell. But let's say you have multiple cells with value 1000, and you want everywhere where there is value 1000, you want to replace it with Maureen, then you can click on replace all instead of replace. All right. So replace replaces only the one cell. Replace all replaces all the cells that contain value 1000 with the new value Maureen. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and replace. Click replace all, and then it asks you whether you want to replace that. Then you click OK, and the value gets replaced. Then you can now go ahead and close this. All right. The shortcut key for replace is Ctrl F. I mean, for find is Ctrl F. So instead of going all the way to here and clicking here and then clicking here, you can as well click Ctrl F on your keyboard, and then it gives you the same dialog box here, which you will be able to perform the same functions. All right. And then another functionality that I want us to look in data editing is go to a specific location. So let us say your cursor is right on top here, but you need to move to this particular location here. And when you look at this location, this cell is number B14. So if you want to move to that location and your cell cursor is here, you can as well go to this editing group and click on go to. Then it will give you this box where you type the location or the reference where you want to go, and the reference here is the cell name where you want to go. So for our case, we need to go to B14. You click B14 and then click OK. You will see that the cursor will jump to this position of B14. So that's how you can move from one location to another without having to scroll vertically or horizontally. All right. The shortcut for go to is Ctrl G. Ctrl G to mean your go, G for go. So when you click Ctrl G, it gives you the same dialog box, and then you enter the cell reference where you want to move, or the location you want to move. All right, the next concept I want us to look is how to select cell range. For example, let's say we need to apply some editing to this particular range of cells. From here, we want these particular cells to be, we need to apply some formatting to it. All right, how do we select a specific range or group of cells? So to do that, you just place your cursor in one of the cell, the first cell where you want to start selecting, and then you can drag it down to select the cells, or you can as well drag it left horizontally to select a range of cells. So you can see for our case here, we have selected this range of cells right from A4 right to C4, and then down to A8 right to C8. So we have selected this range of cells, and after that you can go ahead and apply formatting. Maybe let's say we want to apply the background to be maybe red. Maybe this will highlight a specific set of data that we need to take care about. All right, for now let us leave this. We will look at how to apply formatting in our future videos. So that's how you can select a range of cells. The next concept is how to select the entire row or the entire column. All right, so let's say you need to apply some formatting to these student names. So what you do, you, instead of clicking on this cell and then dragging it all the way down, this is one way of doing it, but another better way of doing it is to place your cursor above that column until it appears in arrow shape, as you can see above here. Then you can go ahead and click, just one click, and you can see all this column is selected. Likewise, you want to select this column of grade, you can put the cursor above it until it appears the arrow shape, and then you click and the whole column is selected. Likewise, if you want to select a specific entire row, let's say we want to select this row number 11, what you do, you just put your cursor at the beginning of the row, and then the cursor will turn into an arrow shape. When it turns to arrow shape, go ahead and click, and the entire row is selected. So with that, then you can go ahead and apply some formatting to this row. Maybe let's say we would need to highlight it in red, or we need to highlight it in a different color, maybe green, or so forth and so on. All right, so that's how you can select a specific row or a specific column. So with that said, we have come to the end of editing the cell. And in summary, for you to edit a specific value in a cell, you just double click on that cell and then scroll to move your cursor to that value and remove it and type a new value and press enter. For you to override the data in the cell, what you do is just select the cell and go ahead and type the new value. All right. For you to be able to find a specific value, you can use either Ctrl F on your keyboard, or you can go to this editing group and click on find, and then you can find a specific value. And if you find it, then you can go ahead and replace it. You can replace one, or you can replace all. And if you want to go to a specific location in your Excel sheet, you can use Ctrl G on your keyboard, or you can use alternatively editing group, and then you come to go to a specific position and then type the cell reference or the cell name where you want to go to. And for you to select a range of cells, you just place your cursor on the first cell, and then you can drag it down to select the range of cells, or even left to select the range of cells. All right. For you to select a specific column or a specific row, just click on that column, place your cursor above the column at the beginning of the column, and then press enter. As well, you can place your cursor at the beginning of the row until it appears in arrow shape, then go ahead and click on it, and the entire row will be selected. So with that said, we want to bring this lesson to an end, and thank you for joining. See you in the next video.